If we abandon Chukwukika Biama in truth and honesty, please goodbye to Biafra. Biafra can have in a billion years. You'll be only running around in circles. You can never come. It is the kingdom of heaven itself. You want to do something that is happening in heaven, on earth, for mankind to see and testify to the grace of the Lord. You have to be of good courage. You have to be without fear in the face of your enemies. If you are without fear before your enemies will run from you. Rather than you running from them, your enemies will run from you. If you speak the truth always, regardless of the consequences, lies will run from you. You must protect those who cannot protect themselves, not to steal from them. I repeat, it is your job as a child of heaven, IPOB family member, to protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is your job. Not to kidnap them, not to rob them. You must be of good conduct. That's Chiku Okike Abia left. If these conditions are not in place, Biafra will not come. And Broku Lakananti, Biafra Gahabia. Ana Akatiana, Ana Abotiano, going to a native doctor, Didianyanzu cannot save you. If you want Biafra, am I a meeting or day sheep? It doesn't work. We don't believe in that rubbish. Chukwukika is our shield and our guide. We don't commune with darkness. I am warning all 17 commanders, all our commanders, we don't commune with the devil. We don't do ordination. We believe in the protection that Chukwukika can offer. The weapon you need to protect yourself is your gun and your ammunition. We don't commune with spirit.
What they want to do. But if you ask Satan, what is the alternative to Biafra? Even Satan cannot answer because Zoo is a failed state. They will recruit all their sabo from everywhere and fund them. Ojukwu faced worse than what we are facing today. Yet he held out for 3 years. Talk less of when we are able to match them, toe to toe. We can fight for 1,000 years, I can assure you. I thank you all for listening, wherever you are. I pray for the blessing and mercy of the Most High Chukwukika Biama upon each and every one of you. We are not just fighting for the worst mistake Buhari ever made was to arrest him. Yes. The worst mistake ever. What is going to happen? I am taking IPOB to Abuja on the 17th of next month to my court case.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
There will be 2 million people in Abuja.
Yes. I will be there. I will be there. I will be there with you, sir. I will be there.
We take the battle to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And let me make this very clear to you. You are under oath.
Yes.
And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order from me.
Yes.
Any day you wake up, you hear I've been arrested, burn Nigeria down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Greetings to you, wherever you are. I want to welcome you to this broadcast today. Today is the last day of the month of May 2023. I want to say welcome to this broadcast on Biafra Global Network. And I want to also say that you also, as you join in, just share the program on all your social media platforms and the ones you belong and the ones you also can find. Let people begin to hear the gospel of truth. I want to thank you wherever you're watching from. Today is a special day because we are alive today, given the mandate to carry out the actions we have been called to carry out. And the most important thing is that we are still on course. And the most important thing also is that we are definitely in line with what we have been called to do. Whenever you are on the path of truth, then you should be grateful to God for the opportunity of still being part of it. That means you are called indeed. We want to appreciate Chukokike Abiyama for this opportunity of service, for this opportunity of speaking the truth, for this opportunity of recognizing and standing as watchers over the truth which God has given to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And I want to thank him for the opportunity of being part of those who have been called to sustain the gospel of truth and to make sure that we expose the lies, the deceit, and all the cunning approach, all the evils of these people who have concocted different things against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu directly or indirectly. I want to appreciate Chukokiko Abiyama for this opportunity, and I want to thank him for giving me also an opportunity to stand on the truth and to maintain the path of truth. And at the same time, thanking God on your behalf because you are part of this gospel of truth, doing your own bit by contributions, by sharing the broadcast, and by listening at all times. Thank you all. I know that we have this Edith Nedu. Good evening also to you. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who is watching. We know that sometimes our people are busy, especially in Biafra land, who are busy by this time, or other parts of Europe where it is evening. People are still at work and all of that. But we know people, some people do watch later and all of that. And the gospel is going far and wide. But we must continue to play our role to ensure that we circulate this gospel of truth at all times and give the people opportunity also to hear this. The reason why we do this is because it is the onus is on us to make sure we get the people formally notified and always given the information about what is happening, about the evils, that is why the gospel, if you come to the gospel of Christ, the gospel is preached daily. Some of you, of course, you've been hearing Jesus Christ since you were born. You go to church every day, or you go to your ministries every day, and you listen to the same message said over and over in different ways. Why? The gospel of Christ. You know why? Faith cometh by hearing. When you keep hearing, you keep also boosting your faith, and it helps you to consistently maintain the path of truth, which, of course, you are supposed to be on. And that's why we are always here preaching the gospel of truth and making sure that we are consistently exposing the lies. Now, the basic lie we have in this generation right now, especially in the context of Biafra, is Simon Ekpa and his rogue team. That is the fundamental lies. In fact, this lie is so devastating because it is not expected. He's an epitome of lies, breaking the heart of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to the umpth time, and that is why I call it devastating. The first time in my life, the first time on this planet Earth, where you have heard of a freedom fighter. We have not heard of this before in this life, where a freedom fighter keeps coming on social media to say things that he cannot do, bragging about so many things that he cannot say, he cannot do, and all of that. The first time in history where a freedom fighter has constituted so much nuisance and comes on social media to do lots of things that don't make sense. The first time in life. I have read histories of freedom fighters. They are serious-minded people. They are serious-minded people. Check history. Read history, even to scripture. Freedom fighters are serious-minded people. Whenever they take action, whenever they come out, they are serious. You know what they're doing is significant to what they represent. And that is very fundamental. But here is a guy who calls himself a freedom fighter. He comes and constitutes nuisance on Facebook, on Twitter, everywhere. Constitute nuisance and messing up, disgracing the people, the Biafrans, rubbishing the whole concept. You can imagine somebody come on Twitter and post them 20-0, 10-0, all this nonsense. Childish, criminally childish. Not just childish, criminally childish. And it is painful. It's very, very painful. And of course, I just came across a particular tweet and post by one of his criminal gang members who helped him to propagate the gospel of lies. And that criminal gang member just posted something not long ago on Facebook. And this alone would open your heart to all and sum up the whole essence of this criminality. That is when you know, I'm going to be saying so many things today, very, very deep things, especially the only way, because I want to be very simple. The reason is because I discovered that sometimes when we compact things, or we make things, we jumble things, of course, by bringing, details everywhere and there, people might not understand. So I want to give perspective, and I want to take it in a very simple way to also remind you of the past. I'm also going to remind you of the past. I'm even also going to show you the letter we wrote to Simon. And somebody just posted some stuff on my, giving an announcement today on Facebook, trying to tell you about the broadcast of today, and the person now wrote something under and said Simon has given us a second chance, and so we should capitalize on this chance, or some blah blah. I don't know how he put that stuff anyways. I'm trying to make us believe that Simon has given us a second chance. And you see, when people are blind and ignorant, they tend to, and when they are cowed by a force higher than them, anybody who is under Simon should understand that Simon is higher than them. One. And the funny thing is that shows your level of thinking, because if Simon can portray this level of daft, cunning pattern, which of course, when he takes this step, anything that happens now, we know the next thing he's going to do, the next move he's going to take. We understand. So we can read him very, very well. And you are under somebody who is seen as predictable. That tells you that you are even lower, and that means something is fundamentally wrong with you. No wonder we're having so much challenges and betrayal in this whole concept of Biafra. Now, the highest level, the height of the betrayer is now in this message from Facebook from one of his gang members, which I'm going to read to you. But before I read that to you, I'm going to tell you about that message. Now, the person said, I'm talking about the message under my post. The person said, Simon has given us another chance, that we should come together and all of that. And I begin to wonder how people reason. In the first place, Simon does not have what it takes. Is incompetent. He doesn't have the local standing. He doesn't have what it takes at all to even extend hand of fellowship, even to anybody. Not to talk about us. He doesn't have the capacity. He doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have the competence. He doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have the anointing. He doesn't have the spirit on him. He doesn't have the anointing of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or the backing of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or any of Biafran citizens. He doesn't have that. So he doesn't have that local standing to even extend hand of fellowship to anybody, like what he was saying yesterday. In fact, I'm going to speak briefly later about this whole thing of yesterday, the shenanigan of yesterday and his broadcast of yesterday. Don't you see how low and how empty that guy is? From the broadcast of yesterday, you know that this guy is turning you here and tossing you here and there, and you are just like a leaf in his hands. He understands how he can deal with you and rubbish you. And that's why you see things happening this way. But anyways, in the first place, someone doesn't have any ability. He doesn't even have any rights. He doesn't have the local standing to even think of extending hand of fellowship to us. He doesn't have, he's not qualified for it. He's not qualified. So in the first place, he's not qualified. Two, the reverse is the case, because we are supposed to extend hand of fellowship to him, but we know that we will not do that because we know he's criminal. And so what we can do is we are going to bring him before the law. So it is about the law. It's not about hand of fellowship. Now, in that regard, I'm also going to look at a particular message, from one of his crazy fellow henchmen, his crazy henchman, who posted some stuff and talked about, Simon, I'm going to read it so that you can hear it, you can see it, and all of that, and you can have the information. I don't need to read it and call out his name because he is not important. Now, I'm going somewhere today. I'm going to also be reading the letter that we wrote to Simon, and I'm going to tell you so many things today with information from the things that have happened in the past, because our people forget so quickly. We need to be reminding you and take you step by step through the things that have happened and through the things that are happening. Now, let's look at this. He says this. Now that Nigerian government have officially declared Islamic State of Nigeria, it's time for every Biafra agitating group to come together to get our freedom. I therefore extend the hand of partnership to DOS and other agitating for Biafra freedom. This is what Simon is saying, and he is trying to let us know what Simon is saying. This is not time to fight others. He says this is not time to fight others, but he had been fighting them in the sense of trying to expose the DOS members. And he says this is not the time. Now, don't you see the subtleness of this message for those who are, who are sensible and who can reason? I'm not talking to Nigerians now. The reason why I'm reading this out is for Nigerians, because I want to explain for Nigerians to understand. Nigerians don't mean those who are only believing in the contraption Nigeria. No, Nigeria is adjectival too, in the sense that you can use it as an adjectival in the context of an adjectival clause or even a phrase, because it qualifies both those who are Biafrans by birth but Nigerian in the sense of their personality. Because when you reason in line with lies and all of that, you're a Nigerian. What it simply means to be a Nigerian is to be a liar, to be unreasonable, to be a supporter of evil and all of that. I've seen Prince in the studios. Please, just give me a little time. I'm still going to call you up. I just want to take I think I have this is 17 minutes past. I just have about I'll take the first 1 hour and then I'll open it up so that so I just give some explanation, and then I know I'm sorry I'm going to delay you a little there. So let me just do this so that people can get to understand what I'm saying. So Nigerian, by your reason, by your actions, by your behaviors and all of that, that is why we say you are either a Nigerian or an intellectual. You understand? We didn't say you are either a Nigerian or a Biafran, because we know you can be a Biafran and still be a Nigerian, because you can be a Biafran by birth. We can't take that from you because it's your birthright. You are a Biafran by birth, but you are a Nigerian by person. By person, by behavior, by character, by actions, by belief. And of course, the only way to be a Nigerian is to access, not access, assess, ASS, not ACC, to assess your actions and behaviors. And how do you do that? Once you notice that you are a supporter of Simon, just know you are a Nigerian, because he's a full-blooded Nigerian, and all of that. Just check your behavior, your actions, then you know whether you are on the path of truth, or you are saying the truth, or you are on path of lies. All these prove whether you are a Nigerian and all of that. And now look at what this Nigerian wrote. He calls himself Mazi, one blah, 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 blah. He says, now that Nigerian government has officially declared Islamic State of Nigeria. Now, the initial action he was making us believe, that Simon, was that he was going to stop Biafra from participating in the election. And he had everything on ground to do that, which means that Biafrans are not supposed to be part of this Islamic agenda. But now he subtly worked against Peter Obi in this whole arrangement. and made sure that he frustrated the approach and discredited Peter Obi. We're not saying we are supporting Peter Obi. We can support in Nigeria, but we're looking at his own agenda in this whole thing being used by Nigeria to play a program on behalf of Nigeria. Now he comes all over and he discredits Peter Obi, against the other Nigerians who are contesting. He focuses on Peter Obi because he wants to use the sentiment that Peter Obi is a Biafran. And so because Peter Obi is against Biafra, then he has to work against Peter Obi for being part of Biafra. Now, you know that Peter Obi is working against Biafra. The only way you can do it is to stop election so that nobody votes for Peter Obi or votes for anybody in Biafra land. That is the only way to stop Peter Obi from doing anything and for being powerful or something, or being endorsed by the people. It's as simple as that. It is not about what you come to say. Yes, you can talk about Peter Obi as a criminal. We know that. Yes, we know he is because of the actions, and of course, anybody who works under Nigeria is definitely a criminal. We understand all of that. You can talk about Tinubu and all of that because, of course, we know they are all criminals because they all, we have their history, we have their stories, and all of that. We know all of those details. You can talk about that. But the only way you can stop Peter Obi is to stop the election. Now, you didn't stop the election. Now, you allowed Nigeria to officially declare Islamic State of Nigeria, which Biafrans are also part of right now, and being cynosure of that also, because that is where the whole resources of Nigeria is gotten from. That is where they steal the oil and all of that. Basically, all the basic resources are gotten from Biafra land. You allowed Nigeria to be sustained because you deceived the people, made us think that you have everything on ground to make sure there's no election. And we relaxed, hoping, as you have said, we should just allow you because the Spirit teaches you what to do. The Spirit tells you what to do. So you take your decision unilaterally. That's what you told us. You told us that the decisions you take are propelled by the Spirit. So we should allow you. Sometimes you don't need to tell us what you are doing. So we should allow you to do what you are doing because the Spirit is leading you, which means that if the Spirit is leading you, then it means that the Spirit is the one that told you about the no election. And the Spirit has given you everything to make sure that there's no election. That's what it means. Because if it is the Spirit, then the Spirit has the capability. But when you come to boast to us that the Spirit leads you and then nothing works, and that same thing you say the Spirit tells you not to allow and to stop happens, that means we have to question that Spirit. It's just like those so-called pastors in Nigeria and prophets who are prophesying that Peter Obi will be the winner and Peter Obi will be the president. And now Tinubu has been given the mandate. Now that should make their members question them. This is where they now question them. You test the spirits. You question things. You don't go like a zombie. You are not a zombie. You are not a robot. So if Simon have said that this, when he came to our meeting, he told us, when we asked him, why don't you tell us what you want to do so that we can project them beforehand? We just hear them in the media as every other person is hearing. He said, no, these things come to me. They come to me because the Spirit reveals to me. So, okay, now when that's okay, oh, the Spirit reveals to him. So let's allow him do what the Spirit reveals to him. It seems, according to what he has said, he said the Spirit reveals to him, which means that there's a template the Spirit has given to him. And the Spirit has equipped him with everything, using Biafrans to give him funds. So with those funds and everything the Spirit gives him, we know that we should believe that he should carry this out, which he said in one of his broadcasts, that whether it is true or not, just believe it because they hear from the Spirit. I'm going to play that out. Now listen to this. Now, if the Spirit is the one that tells you that you should say no election, and you say we shouldn't ask you questions because the Spirit says that no election and it must be carried out, then how come you were not able to fulfill that mandate of no election? Now that is when we begin to question that Spirit. And of course, in the bid of questioning the Spirit, you yourself, Simon Ekpa, you exposed the Spirit to us. You told us you are going to patronize Satan. And that is where we got the clue. You have actually been working with Satan. That's where we got the clue.
Somebody sent me a video yesterday.
No, this is not what I want to play. This is not what I want to play. I'm going to play it and I'm going to tell you this. He said the Spirit. Now listen to what he said here. He said that whether it is a lie or truth, you have to be a zombie. You have to believe it. Listen.
As she's
doing everything to release Mazi Nnamdi, and of course for Biafrans in this case. Now,
what he is talking about here is Nelly. He said it's in the spirit, and he told you here now that Nelly is doing everything for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and also for Biafra. Now, this same spirit that gives him this information didn't tell him that Nelly is not for Biafra. Nelly actually said that Biafra is dead, is gone. And she's saying that Idu is what is. Now, the spirit didn't tell him all of that. He came to tell us that Nelly is doing everything to, I don't like talking about Nelly because I know she's a psychopath. I went to her platform and I saw what she posted about me, and posted some stuff, some receipts of 100,000, 700,000, 800,000. Said they gave to one Kelechi Odom, and he called the Kelechi Odom alias Ambrose. I don't need to, I don't have time for these idiots who just they just want to say some stuff on this. I come with facts and I prove to you what is lies and truth. That is what I do. I don't have time for all this kind of coming to exchanging words like that. But I'm going to come. My job is to expose Simon. Our job is to expose Simon because Simon is an epitome of the lies that is beclouding or has beclouded the Biafra project right now. He's the epitome. What it means by epitome, that means he is the summation, he is the fullness, he is the summation of the lies. He is the completeness of the lies. He is the fundamental of the lies. That's what it means. Yes, Ifeanyi, thank you. It must be explained. Now, he says here that Nelly is fighting for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and at the same time also fighting for Biafra. All of you know that Nelly is not fighting for Biafra. So which spirit told Simon that? Now listen to it. Listen to it again. Which spirit? Now, you see, there is something that Raf said. Raf Ajere Chiamaka. He said, if you don't want to ask questions, we are going to be opening it to, because we know. Now listen, let me play Raf, because I told you that every day I'm going to be playing Raf. Let me play Raf before I play this one. Let me play what Raf said so that you can think and reason. Because, we are Biafrans, we reason. So Raf now says that you have to reason. Listen.
Now the question is, between Simon Ekpa and the leadership of IPOB, the DOS,
who is this, for God's sake?
Can be described. Between Simon Ekpa and the leadership of IPOB, the DOS, who is or who can be described as a career freedom fighter?
You hear that? Now listen
to
what he says.
The DOS has no monetized page. The DOS does not have membership page.
The DOS has no monetized page, does not have membership page. These are the things he's categorized. I mean, give the items he's giving to you right now to prove to you that Simon is a career agitator. He's giving you the facts, the basis why he said Simon is a career agitator. The things that Simon is still doing today, that he has joined Simon still. Now listen.
Be described as a career. Between Simon Ekpa and the leadership of IPOB, the DOS, who is or who can be described as a career freedom fighter? The DOS has no monetized page. The
DOS has no monetized page, which means having a monetized page approves of Simon as a career agitator based on the fact. Now, I want to draw your mind to the issue of Simon's page. Now, did you notice the gimmick in which he used in building that page? We had somebody like Maureen and Odikema who came together and started the platform where monies were being contributed for the Radio Biafra. I mean, for the Voice of Biafra stuff. I think it was begun by Nelly and is it Madame Oyibo? So bringing money. I don't know. I can't remember that. And then later, contributions were made. Many of you contributed towards that radio. How many of you have ever heard of that radio in Biafra land today? Those monies were diverted to build Simon's Enter Biafra platform. all the transmitter, all the stuff. He told you that before the end of February 2023, they're all over Biafra. Because I remember when I was pushing for that under the autopilot, I said, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. The autopilot IPOB media platform now organized fundraising for that same purpose of radio, of Voice of Biafra radio. Those monies were collected and given to Azuka. There were platforms where monies were being collected. People were paying. I remember people give $2,000 and all of that. People were giving money for radio Biafra, Voice of Biafra radio. Where are those monies? All of them were given to Azuka, the commander-in-chief of the fraudulent platform called the BE or whatever. Because she's the one who actually is in charge of Simon and determines what Simon does. She and Ngozi. Simon is their puppet, even if he's a criminal, because it is only a criminal that subjects themselves to. Just like now, just like when they now brought in the issue of the currency to me to induce me and told me that my face will be on one of the coins. I would have just, that would have been an inducement, and I would have just taken it. If I have criminal mindset, I would take it. But the reason I didn't take it is because I don't have criminal mindset. It's as simple as that. If Azuka and Ngozi brings criminality to Simon and he takes it, it simply means that he has criminal mindset. So those of you who think that they are the ones influencing him, no, nobody influences anybody. You're an adult. And when you get to court, they judge you because you're an adult. You have the right to make your decisions. Even God tells the children of Israel, choose ye this day, whom you will serve. When Jehoshaphat also was telling the children of Israel, he says, as for me and my house, we serve the Lord. But you have to choose. God says to us, he has placed before us life and death, and he advises us to choose life because we have the ability to choose. That is why he gave us brains. So you tell me that they are the ones influencing Simon. Nobody is influencing anybody. Once you do it, it is in you. Nobody, they can only help you activate it and boost your energy to do it because it is in you. So when you see that you have other supporters who are thinking like you now say, oh, okay, if anything happens, at least, and it's not only me, we're all together. That is why they get involved in this whole thing. Now, here is Raf telling you that he has monetized this page. Listen to what Raf said about him. Listen, Raf, the criminal
can be
in that platform
described as a career freedom fighter. The DOS has no monetized page. The DOS does not have membership page. The DOS does not broadcast on YouTube where they are being paid. Okay. The DOS has no private accounts that they have scammed or cloned for people to pay in ESM funds.
The DOS have no private cloned account or scammed account that they have given to Biafrans to pay in ESN fund. Now remember, the fund of a security arm of Biafra, Eastern Security Network, is put in the account of one woman called Azuka, the account of her husband. The fund of it's just like the fund of the whole of USA being put in the account of Biden's wife. Chineke. Or put in the account of Biden or the Minister of Finance in that nation. I don't know. The money of the military being put in the account of one individual. What is that the kind of Biafra we want? Is that the kind of Biafra we want? I want to ask you guys. Now, Raphael Ajere, who is also a member of the cabinet, of the so-called cabinet of Simon's social media Biafra Republic government in exile, is telling you that Simon is a criminal and a career agitator because of these facts. And one of them is that the monies, an account has been cloned. And we have told you that that account is the account of the husband of Azuka. His account was cloned, put under the website, and you, as a zombie, as a fool, as an idiot, your money goes into that place. Anybody who says I'm talking about Simon, yes, I'll talk about Simon. because he is the epitome of criminality in the whole of Biafra. And the reason we must get rid of the internal enemies, the saboteurs. That's the first assignment to your freedom. If you don't know that today. That is the first assignment to your freedom. First, get rid of the internal saboteurs, because they are the ones who help the external saboteur. I mean, the external betrayals. Listen to Ralph again.
The DOS have no private accounts that they have scammed or cloned for people to pay in ESM funds between Simon Ekpa and the DOS, who are the career freedom fighters. Those of you that cannot ask questions,
listen,
you will continue to be scammed. Simon Ekpa is a scammer, 101, who are the career freedom fighters. Those of you that cannot ask questions, you will continue to be scammed. Simon Ekpa is a scammer, 101. I'll be dropping it.
Those of you who cannot ask questions will continue to be scammed. Those of you who cannot ask questions will continue to be scammed. From Raf Ajere, who is part of that cabinet now. That same account is being used. Raf is now part of that cabinet, which means he's enjoying his own part of that stuff. Now he's like a Nigerian, he is, and like they are. Once you are put into the system, you close your mouth, like Fani Kayode and all these people. When they were not in APC, they were talking anyhow. Once they were put in APC, they begin to speak. Look at what he said to BBC concerning Tinubu. Now he has forgotten that he said some stuff against Tinubu initially, calling him a criminal and all of that. Now he is now promoting Tinubu recently because of this inauguration thing. He said so many things about it. Now, once you don't ask questions, you will continue to be scammed. Raf talked about this criminality. Now Raf is part of the criminality. Now he is telling you to bring your funds into that criminality, which means that they know what they are doing. If you don't know that they know what they are doing, then you are stupid. Because here, Raf told you now, he just told you that you are stupid and you will continue to be scammed because you are stupid, because you don't ask questions. And that is why you will come here and drop nonsense posts, because they already look at you and say, these guys are stupid. And that's why we want to liberate you from your stupidity by coming every day to tell you about Simon, so that you that have dull brains, your brains will be opened. And your mind of understanding will be enlightened, so that you will now become an intellectual, not a Nigerian anymore. We cure Nigerianism in people. We cure Nigerianism. That is what we're doing. We are trying to cure your Nigerianism. Don't worry, Prince is still in the house. Once it's 1 hour precisely, I'll bring him out, and he's going to give you perspective to all of this also. Now listen. This guy said, Ralph said, if you don't ask questions, you will continue to be scammed. Now you have not been asking questions. You are coming to ask us questions. When are you going to bring Biafra? What are you doing to restore Biafra? And all of that. Yes, repetition is very necessary. Thank you so much, Kanu Video Media. Yes, of course. That's why we keep talking about it, because it will help you begin to, faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing, another hearing and hearing and hearing. Faith comes by hearing and hearing. Faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. So the word of God is the truth we preach. The word of God is everything that quantizes with the concept of God's word and what God's purpose is about. And that is why Biafra is also part of God's word and what God purports that should be by design to come. So we are bringing you into that fold by truth, so that you can understand that you cannot get Biafra in lies. Let me tell you something. I want to ask you yourself. I want you to ask yourself a question. What kind of Biafra am I expecting? Is it a Biafra where one person has the money in their account, in their personal account? What kind of Biafra am I expecting? Is it the Biafra where I will ask a question and then I will be called a criminal? How do you want to get justice in that kind of Biafra? Because when you go to court, or you go to the police station and you say somebody raped your daughter, they call you, they say you're a criminal, they put you in jail. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? If that kind of thing happens to you in Biafra, what are you going to say? Oh, so we have come to get Biafra and then we have become worse than Nigeria. Because of you. It is your action that brought about it. Because you gave yourself over to some things that are fundamentally wrong, so that you built a Biafra that is fundamentally wrong. Of course, you can't even get Biafra building on lies. Mazi Nnamdi said it several times. I'll play it here. I'll play it later. You'll hear it. Now listen to Raf. Raf said that because you refuse to ask questions, you will continue to be scammed, and because you allow yourself to be scammed, you are stupid. That's what he's saying. Now listen to what Simon now says here. He said, believe it whether it is true or not. Now listen to him here.
And she's still doing everything to release Mazi.
Now the spirit the spirit that Simon is telling you that he is working with, that he told us that he's working with, we shouldn't question him. He's going to do it because the spirit is leading him. That spirit told him that Nelly is working for Biafra and working for the release of Mazi. Today, all of you can testify that Nelly is working for Edu, not Biafra. She has said it several times. I'm going to play it here where she said Biafra is dead. In fact, she said it to the point that Nsima became very uncomfortable. He said to her, please just allow those who want to talk about Biafra, just allow them to continue to talk about Biafra. Now listen to Simon here. Listen.
Because for Biafrans in this case. Now, where you people are not getting.
Listen.
And she's still doing everything
about Nelly.
And of course for Biafrans.
That's talking about Nelly.
Now, where you people are not getting things right is that if you believe that Biafra is a spirit, when somebody begins to speak the language of Ndemo, you should be able to respect that.
Now listen, the language of Ndemo, you should be able to respect that. Remember, the more he's talking about is that more that he said is revealing things to him that told him about no election, that he didn't work. The more he's talking about is that same more that told him that he should declare 150 days and in the end Biafra will come. The more he's talking about is that same more that he used in telling you that you will get Biafra by the end of 2022 when that Izombe attack happened in November 7th. When he came on November 8th to tell you that because of that there will be no oil lifting in Biafra land. That is the same more that told him to say that he should tell Biafrans there would be no, should tell Nigeria that they cannot lift oil in from Biafra land again. It is that same more that he is talking about that made him told you that there will be no election in Biafra land and that by the end of that the international community will come to witness war instead of election. Now this reminds me of one submission that Nneka did on Facebook. I think I'm going to read that submission here, but let's finish up. Let's go.
When somebody tells you that what I am doing or what she is saying is something that was given to her, whether it is true or not, but for the fact that this Biafra struggle that you believe in, you have to respect that.
Now you hear it. Now he has given to you the fact here and given you a clue of the kind of spirit, the more he's talking about. It's a more that that also enhouses or encapsulates lies. He says whether it is true or not. Whether it is true or not. Whether it is true or not. You just have to be a robot. You just have to believe it. That means you don't question that spirit. Scripture tells us, try every spirit. Now, Simon comes to tell us that the more that he is serving, you don't have to question it. What does that tell you? It's not the spirit of Biafra. Now, look at it critically. The same more have told him about several things that he has said, which rather than those things happening, he used those things to give Nigeria the advantage over the people. To give Nigeria advantage over the people. You know of what is happening at Oguta. You know of what is happening at Izombe. You know of what is happening. Our people are being killed. Now, you know of what is happening recently. He is telling you that he is fighting the Nigerian government or the Nigeria security forces, dealing with them from in the air and on land. Now, has Simon come to prove to you? Does Simon have aircrafts or fighter jets? No. But he's telling you about taking the Nigeria forces from the air. Now, you, as Raf has said, Raf Ajere, because you don't reason, they'll keep scamming you. That's what Raf said. So you now that is coming to defend that and typing it on social media, we are taking them from the air. Doesn't that show you that you are part of those Raf is talking about, that you are scammed? Now, Simon comes to tell you that you shouldn't ask questions whether it is lie or true, which means once he tells you that they are taking them up from the air, you should believe it. You are a zombie, you are an idiot. Don't try that. It tells you, don't ask questions, just believe it. He said it here. Whether it is true or not, whatever they say I'm doing or whatever she's doing, that means whatever Nelly is doing, which is lies, whatever I'm doing, which is also lies, whether it is true or it is lies, don't just believe it. Don't ask questions. Look at the number of people who are not asking questions today. Don't you see how low level they are? Don't you see how their brains are low class in their brains? Their thinking faculty, their personality order is destabilized, is destroyed. They don't even have personality in the first place, not to talk about an order. They are morons. Check out what their argument. Look at one came to Twitter to send me a message. He said, Kelechi, this is the last time I'm warning you that any day you mention Simon again, I'll come to Ghana. I'm going to do this to you. I know where you are in Ghana. I'll do blah blah. I don't respond to such kinds of idiots. Raf has already told me who they are. He said they don't ask questions. They are robots. So Raf has given me a clue to who they are. So I don't need to respond to them. They are idiots. How do you respond to an idiot? It's just like I see a madman on the street, and the madman is talking to himself and talking and looking at my towards my direction and talking raggedly and abusing me and all of that. And I go and I started changing words with the madman. What does it mean? I'm also a madman. That's what it means. The only thing I can do is to tell people, please avoid this person. He's a madman, or else he might injure you, and there's nothing you can do. That's what I'm doing now. The madness in their system, I'm exposing to you, but because your brain, because Raf has already told me the kind of person you are. Raf Ajere says that you are a fool. So you cannot reason. So that is why you don't ask questions. He told you that Simon and Azuka have a cloned account, scammed account, using to collect money from you, but you cannot ask questions. That is why he is giving you the clue, but he will come to keep telling you about them. He knows that you don't have brains. Now he is part of them, enjoying the loot, of course, taken from you also. And of course, you are still funding him, even if he has told you what they are doing. Meaning that they know what they are doing, and they are doing what they are doing because they know that even if they know what they are doing, you cannot reason out what they are doing. You will continue to be daft and stupid, so you will continue to give to them in your foolishness. That's what he's saying. I still have about 30 minutes, then praise will come in. Even if I've not even started, anyways. Now listen.
When somebody tells you
listen.
that what I am doing or what she is saying,
talking about him and Nelly now. What I am doing and what she's saying, you know that Nelly is saying lies now. She says Biafra is dead, so it's lies. That proves the fact that Nelly is a liar. And someone says what I am doing, what she's saying, which means we're in the camp together. We're still in the same camp of lies. And now the next thing he says is whether it's true or not, believe.
Is something that was given to her, whether it is true or not.
Now, something given to her, whether it is true or not, which means that it is the spirit of lies. God's spirit does not give lies. It is the spirit of truth. When the spirit of truth, comes, he shall lead you into all truth. That is what Jesus told the disciples. The spirit of truth leads you into all truth, with the exemption of lies. Lies cannot be part of the spirit of truth, which means lies cannot be part of Biafra. So when somebody tells you that whatever I tell you or whatever she tells you, that means Nelly and every other woman who is in that dimension of their lies. Whatever we tell you is something given to us from that spirit. What spirit is that? That's the spirit of lies. That's the spirit of the devil. And I told you the other time, I said the spirit of the devil is the spirit of liars. The Bible calls it the spirit of lies. He's the father of liars. He has been the father of liars from beginning. From the beginning, he's the father of liars. And he's the one who helps his agents to project lies at all times. He helps them project lies at all times. Now, I don't know. Listen.
For the fact that this Biafra struggle that you believe in is something that was given to her. Listen. You should be able to respect that. When somebody tells you that what I am doing or what she is saying is something that was given to her, whether it is true or not, but for the fact that this Biafra struggle that you believe in, you have to respect that. Respect that. That's exactly what I'm doing, because I am not ordinary.
You hear that? You should respect the lies, whether it is true or lies. You should, and of course, you cannot have the mixture of lies and truth. So, which means it's always lies. When there is when you have positive and negative. Definitely, you cannot positive coming from the devil and negative from you can't serve two masters. You can have that together. So, which means that you cannot have lies and truth together. The lies is the negative, the truth is the positive, and the positive always overwhelms the negative at that point. So when so in this context, he's now projecting the issue of true, whether it is true or lies, which means what he's trying to tell you here now is that you don't have to know what it is, whether it is true or lies, not because what he's saying is truth, but because he's trying to make you understand that you shouldn't find out whether it's true or lies. Just believe it, because what he's doing is of the spirit. Which spirit? The spirit of the devil, because he's the father of liars. That's what it is. That is what it is. Now he says, now you have to believe it. That is what Raf is saying. You are a zombie. Believe anything.
I am not you.
You hear it?
I see, you don't see.
Do you hear that? Simon is trying to tell you that where he goes, you don't go. Do you go where he goes? I don't go where he goes because we don't belong to the same spirit. But where I go is higher than where he goes. Because I go to the presence of the Lord. He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High, Psalm 91, shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. But he goes to the place of spirits that are familiar. They are not the real. They are familiar. Because we know them. We know them by their fruits. They are familiar spirits. If the familiar spirits are those that tells you that whether it is lie or true, just believe. Familiar spirits. God's spirit says, try the spirit so that you can be sure that you're on the path of truth. Familiar spirits tells you that it doesn't matter, just like what Satan told, the woman in the garden. He said, did God say that you shouldn't eat fruit? The woman said, no, he told us not to even touch it. It's okay. He's actually not. He said, any day we touch it, we're going to die.
If you come to church.
And the Satan says, no, you will actually not die. You will only be wise. Familiar spirits. They make it look they make it look simple. Where I'm going, you can't go. Where I'm going, you can't go. You can't go. Because we are people of the spirits. Which spirits? The spirit that says whether you believe it or not, whether it is true or not, believe. That is the spirit of the devil. The spirit of God says, try the spirit if it is true. So he is speaking contrary to the Bible. The same spirit he's speaking that made Mazi and Kanu says you can't get Biafra in lies. That same spirit also he's speaking against. Now that brings me to the point that I want to, I said, because it's I don't have more time. I'm going to have more time to talk about this, because I don't want to be fast before Prince comes in also. And now there's something that I want to show you. Now, this is where you get to know the combination of lies and truth from this narrative of Simon here. I've not finished playing it anyways, but I'm going to go deeper into some of this stuff. There are some things I want to play that you should understand. Now, remember, I was reading something from one of his criminals talking about, that they have succeeded in doing some stuff over and over and all of that. Okay, you are part of the 31 watching. So why are you go away so that it will be 30? I want you to go away so that it will be 30. Then Zuzu. Go away so that it will be 30. Fool. Now listen to this. That's why Raf say your brain. The Raf that is in your cabinet says your brain doesn't work. So you cannot ask questions. Now listen, you think if I wanted them attention, I know what to do. I'll get attention. I just tell you lies and you'll be jubilating. Simon, Kelechi's continue the good work. That's what you say. But I know that I'm dying. Because when I'm on a path of lie, when I will suffer the consequences of my lies, you will not be there to suffer with me. You will only hail me, and put me into dungeon. That's what you people are doing to Simon. You are making him feel great in this lies. And all of you will get into that death, that pit of death that the spirit of Biafra will bring upon you. That's the truth. Raf was struggling when he saw that he has gone to the path of truth and everything was going down. He quickly joined lies because broad is the way that leads to destruction. He just joined because he wants 8K viewers and more. He joined. I don't care if you like everybody just unsubscribe. I'll keep preaching. You must watch it later. You must watch it because you must hear the gospel of truth. Because that truth must stand against you if you don't believe it. It will judge you. You must watch it. Now here, Simon. Now let's look at it critically. Where this analysis of whether it is true or lies, you should believe it. One of the factors that projects this is very well stipulated here or submitted here on this particular picture. First, Simon shows you the house, and then he blurs the adverts in front of the house. Why did he blur it? Why didn't he leave it? because he wants to give you an impression that this house belongs to Biafra. That means the whole house is the house of Biafra. So he blurs, he counsels, and he covers that stuff that is still dirty today. He said he's now furnishing that place, but this advert for lease is still in that place where he said it is his house. Remember, in another picture, he puts Biafra flag just right there, and then puts the coat of arms up there. That is where you see the coat of arms still up there where he put it, meaning that this place is Biafra house. That's the impression he's trying to give you. Now, this is where he, when he talk about whether it is true or not, you just believe it. When he says whether it is true or not, just believe it. You don't have to ask questions. Just believe it, whether it is true or not. You are a fool. You are a moron. Just believe it. You don't have to believe anything. Just believe it because you're a moron. So he tells you now, believe it or not. Of course, I have the picture of the other one where he has both the, let's look at it here. Now you see Biafra flag there, and then you see the coat of arms up there, and you see the coat of arms at the right hand top side. You see the coat of arms. Now the impression here is that this house, talking about the house is for Biafra. That's the impression. Now remember in that video and that audio I was playing, he said you have to believe it as long as it's coming from Nelly and as long as it's coming from me. Now Nelly represents all the people who have said Biafra does not exist. Nelly represents all those people who have gone another way against Biafra. Now, Simon represents all the people who are criminals and following the lies and Satan, and Simon represents all those who are on that criminal rogue team right now of Simon and that online BRGI, whatever it's called, and all of that. Simon represents. So these are two key people in manipulating and deceiving people. Nelly has her own small view and followers. Simon has his own middle class followers, but of course, the two of them don't have up to 2% of Biafrans behind them. So we are more. He that is with us is greater than he that's in the world. Now listen, I still have 3 minutes to just pause, and then I will bring the great comrades on the platform so that we can continue. They can give us their perspective too. Now listen, I may not be able to finish this because I'm going to take you through the odyssey of knowledge so that you can understand what is happening. Simon says in that thing that whatever you hear, whether it is true or not, we are walking in the spirit. And of course, we have come to identify that spirit is the spirit of lies. Now, Simon says here now that this is Biafra house. Look at the Republic of Government in Republic, Biafra Republic Government in exile, Court of Arm and Liaison House, Biafra House in USA, the house for Biafra liberation, internal politicking, or politicking. Let me call it politicking because it's not politicking here. Politicking and diplomatic moves. Now, he's telling you that the whole house belonged to him. And now he comes here to say this. They said our house in the US, still calling it his house, is fake. Coming from those who agitated for Biafra for 13 years, indirectly spiting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu here. But to make the statement look simple and as if he's not against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he had to make an addendum. He said only to sabotage MNK and handed him to the enemies. But he has first criticized the fact that for 13 years, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been on the path of agitating without result. He gives you a negative impression about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And then he gives another statement, just like the devil did to the woman, in the garden. The devil says to the woman, has the Lord said you shouldn't eat this fruit? Even if the devil knows that the Lord have said it, he's now asking the woman the direct question. Because he knows that every liar would want to, anybody who desire to do something wrong, will look for a partner. They want to look for, a particular justification from somebody else, or try somebody who will give them who strengthen their desire by endorsement or by endorsing with their words and all of that. And the woman says to the devil, no, yes, he actually said we shouldn't even touch the fruit. Now remember, the issue here is that don't eat. But the woman tells the devil, he said we shouldn't touch the fruit, that any day we touch it, we're going to die. The devil now says, yeah, of course. You will not die now. You will only know good and evil. That is what death means in this regard. You will know what is good and what is evil. The same tactics here. This is how liars behave. Coming from those who agitated for Biafra for 13 years and have nothing to show for it, that is the main message he's trying to pass to you here. You morons, that Rafa is talking about. You don't reason. So if you don't ask questions, they'll keep scamming you. They are shocked about the progress. Now, let us look at how he expresses these things fundamentally in another statement, so that you will understand that the target is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Those who secretly organize innocent and naive Biafrans to protest in Biafra land. Remember, every protest that have happened in Biafra land was announced by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which means that he's indicting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, spiting him, spitting on his face in his post, intentionally doing all of this. He said, and naive Biafrans to protest in Biafra land will be held responsible for any death recorded. Now remember, I've told you what I'm supposed to tell you then. These desperate criminals who have deceived Biafrans for over 13 years, none of these people have ever come out to speak. It is only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that have been speaking to the people have been listening. Which means, indirectly, he's saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have deceived Biafrans for 13 years, thinking they will make a comeback and their criminalities. The same DOS that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is sending messages to not to respond to Simon, because Simon is out of the way. The same DOS that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave an information to, the same Simon that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave information about to us, telling us that we shouldn't continue with this guy through Bruce Fane. MNK has asked me to communicate to Biafrans his repudiation of the Fox Biafra Republic government in exile, prisoners, to his quest for Biafra statehood. Stay away. This is the same person that Simon... Oh, Lord have mercy. Now, I'm going to stop here for now because it's already 1 hour, 1 minute. I don't want to renege on my words. I want to actually go, because I don't worry, I'm going to preach this very, very well. I'm going to be coming down now very well, because that is my job, to expose the lies to you, to reveal what is lies and truth. Try the spirit. It is a mandate by God. And if I'm going by the mandate of God, you cannot do anything to me. That's the truth. You go pain, you tire. You go talk tire. You go come here, come tell me, say only 2 people they watch. You go talk tire. Now your business. I will keep preaching it, and the message will go far and wide all over the nations of the world. Now we have oh my. It's interesting, anyways. Prince, you're welcome. Waiting and waiting. And then...
Please, can I beg of you?
Okay.
Why not finish that particular recording broadcast of Simon Ekpa? Because you were nearing where he said that Nelly did juju to him.
Yes.
We need to hear that, please. Why not get there and then we can come in, please.
Then let me play it. Then I'll just give the floor to you, and then you speak from there. Let me just play it from beginning to the end without interrupting it. Now let me play it.
And she's still doing everything to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and of course for Biafrans in this gas. Now, where you people are not getting things right is that if you believe that Biafra is a spirit, when somebody begins to speak the language of Ndemo, you should be able to respect that. When somebody tells you that what I am doing or what she is saying is something that was given to her, whether it is true or not, or that this Biafra struggle that you believe in, you have to respect that. Respect that. That is exactly what I'm doing, because I am not ordinary. I am not you.
Okay.
What I see, you don't see.
Oh, yeah.
So if you come to join Biafra struggle with your canal mind,
canal mind means your sense.
When we are discussing canal thing, you can put your mouth. But when we are discussing something of the spirit, you just stay aside.
That means when you don't have sense, when you don't ask questions, that's the spirit.
The wisdom, who have the gift of hearing from the spiritual world, to be the one that will be making comment.
Okay.
Because if you come with your canal knowledge, you just be making mistakes.
All right.
For example, that particular map, that our brother map, I have listened to him. He was even saying that Nelly Ofebu is the one who Ofebu use magic, power, and juju to tie everybody, including myself.
Oh my. Oh Lord have mercy. Priest, you can take it off from there. So Ronaldo, you're welcome too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We always say all glory to God Almighty,
Yes.
the creator, the maker of heaven and earth, the one that exposes the devil and its crafts, the one that uses the devil in a way that the devil will continue to embarrass itself, humiliate itself, and actually vindicate the truthful. The devil does that by himself because God willed it to be so. Simon represents the devil, and from all these indications, it is clear. We give glory to God Almighty because Biafra must come, and Biafra must come in truth. Nnamdi Kanu made it clear that lies will never get Biafra, fiction will never get Biafra, or DHE will never get Biafra. There's a point I wanted to buttress, which you made, Kelechi. And once I've done that, because I'm extremely busy down here, I will let my brother, Nnamdi, to take it up from there until he finishes, and then I can come back in because I need to finish.
Yeah.
But there is a point I wanted to buttress. You see, this point about this evil fool, this scammer, this traitor, this gambler, this criminal called Simon Ekpa, when he said, and when you narrated the fact that he is telling Biafrans to take it, whatever the spirit tells them, whether it is true or false. Kelechi, you were a witness. In fact, I don't think I think I may have encountered Simon only once in one of the video conferences we had prior to the incident I'm going to talk about. Because that incident I'm going to talk about was actually what led me to now understand that we are dealing with fools. That I began to query, what rubbish is this that Biafrans have subscribed to? And you know that the whole essence of our gathering was to draft Biafra's constitution. And suddenly that day we gathered, and Pastor Livingston just broke protocol by informing us that Onyendu had eventually spoken from DSS. And we were all elected. We were all elected. We said, how? Where? He says, no, Azuka. Azuka told him. Azuka had forwarded him the information which he had already sent to his profile, his wall on Facebook. That Azuka said that he knows somebody in DSS who
She said that a Yoruba chief gives her information from DSS custody direct from Nnamdi Kanu.
Direct from Nnamdi Kanu.
And claimed that your own posts and broadcast.
No, I'm coming. Now, because she convinced Pastor Livingston posted that thing as it was on his profile. So as soon as Pastor Livingston gave us this information, I immediately went to Pastor Livingston's wall, Facebook wall, only to see that what was posted there was my own article reminding Biafrans who had left the message, the instruction of Onyendu about being fooled by 2023 presidential nonsense. A message I had rehashed just to remind them what Nnamdi Kanu said about this deceit of giving you presidency in 2023. When I saw this thing, I was totally deflected. So I rushed back to our gathering to let Pastor Livingston know that that was my own statement. It wasn't from Nnamdi Kanu. And you can testify the level of chaos that broke, that people had to immediately, because Simon was actually going to go live that day. And Simon was going to tell everybody because he is controlled by Azuka. And Azuka had convinced Simon also that that was from Nnamdi Kanu. Simon was going to tell Biafrans that indeed Onyendu had spoken to them.
No, Prince. He's not trying to. She's not going to. She didn't convince Simon. They actually walk hand in hand in this thing.
They walk hand in hand. Thank you for correcting that.
Part of that, they are negative propaganda.
Thank you for correcting that. So every frantic effort was made now to go and stop Simon from airing that, because that would have been calamitous. That would have been destructive to the whole project. You know what? Immediately, I pinched myself. I said, so this is Azuka that people are believing. This is Azuka, the woman that is only there to hype up herself and to try to make everybody believe that she is the one in charge of the whole thing. The woman who is here to deceive everybody. Psychologically, I knew the motives that drove her, for her to have claimed that she had the link to DSS more than anybody else. I understood that. But you know what? I now expected, and that was the real test for Simon Ekpa. That was for me the real test for Simon Ekpa. And you can see that in harmony with this his idea of whether it is the devil or God, as far as it is the spirit, you got to go with it. Simon's response was whether or not it came from Nnamdi Kanu, we have to assume it was from Nnamdi Kanu, and we just have to carry on.
Correct.
Now, any other leader who is worth his or her salt would immediately sack Azuka right there and there. But because Simon's response was whether or not it came from Nnamdi, we have to just assume that wasn't Onyendu talking. We just have to take it like that. That was the day I collapsed Simon Ekpa and Azuka. And I knew that this was only gimmicks. And then I was now waiting for them to commit more blunders. And they did not disappoint me. Then I knew, no. These people are taking Biafrans for a ride. These people are just taking Biafrans for a ride. But I'm sorry, the true Biafrans will not join in this ride, because we know that God will only allow us to get Biafra only on truth, only on that which is transparent and honest. Nnamdi Kanu went a long way to say, nobody in this world will give us Biafra other than God. And Biafra must be founded only on truth, nothing else. Not our DH, not our spirit, good and bad, not all this nonsense you are seeing. You can see how this boy, Simon, had gone totally crazy. I have more to come because we need to break these things down very well. But let me allow our brother Nnamdi to carry on so I can finish off the few things I am doing here. I've got all the things to say about this criminal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Nnamdi, you're welcome. We appreciate. Yesterday you were, in fact, talking to the soul of the people. You know, the soul of Biafra. Let me say the soul of Biafra, because Biafra has a soul. And that soul is unilateral in this sense. That means I'm using it as a uniplural word now, soul, because it consists of the general notion of belief of the people of the nation of Biafra, and as a people, what we believe in: truth, conscience, good conscience, truth, fundamental. Please, I will leave it open to you. Just take it up from there. Yesterday you were on the path. Let me leave it open here, and you take it from there, please.
Thank you so very much. Biafrans, it's another beautiful day in the zoo. Beautiful because they are cashing in on the situation, taking advantage of the situation, taking advantage of the flip-flop, conducted by Simon Ekpa. And that's what it is. From all indication, from right flank to left flank, Simon, as you can see, it's all obvious. Simon is acting under influence. What influence? From his alterations, you can see he's acting under the influence of a spell. He's being possessed by demons. You understand? Cast on him by Nelly. Evidence is what you heard from the clip that was played with his own voice. So he's not acting from a point of credibility. He's a lost idiot, not knowing what he's doing. See, all that he's doing is rambling. He's a rambler. He's not stable. He is not reliable. What he says in the morning, this is different from what he says in the noon. What he says in the noon is different from what he said in the morning, in noon, and what he says in the night. Totally something different. You understand? He's a usurper. He's trying to step into the shoe that does not fit him. In other words, he is a dwarfish thief trying to put on the robe, the dressing of a giant. So the whole thing is hanging loose around him. It doesn't fit him. You understand? That is a true position. He's a dwarfish thief with a giant's robe hanging loose around him. You understand? He's trashing. He's not stable. He doesn't have the focus. He doesn't have what it takes to lead a whole concept of freedom, liberating a country, a nation. Biafra is too big for that idiot to sit in one corner of his apartment, per se, in Finland, and every day he's propounding theories after theories. Not even theories. No. I'm wrong. Hypotheses without theories. You understand?
Yeah.
Every day he's propounding hypotheses. No possible solution, nothing. Today, he's printing Biafran passport. Next day, he's printing Biafran currency. He called it dollars. Then his head is going to be there. Nelly, Madam Biafra, not Nelly, please, I keep using that word. Madam Azoka, whatever they call her, that short put of a fellow is going to be the next next one on the head of Biafran currency. Who the heck is Simon to be? But who gave him, who authorized him to go printing money? Have you heard about money laundering? That's what he was doing. He could be arrested for that. You understand? That's that. Next, he printing Biafran passport. I hope you have gotten the copies of the Biafran passport. Probably he wants you to bring money so he can give you booklets of the Biafran passport. Hope you have gotten all your visa. Those of you traveling around the world. Oh, this guy is under influence. He's not normal. He's under influence. Nelly cast spell on him. That is what he's acting. That acting has taken possession of him. He's under the possession of demons. He's possessed by demons. He said it the other day. He even avouched, hey, he's going to get Biafra under whatever, by devil or by whatever. He summoned all the demons to possess him so he can get Biafra. He's acting like what was that? Macbeth. If you read the drama by Shakespeare, Macbeth, at some point, after he's done taking a position that does not belong to him, he started acting well. You understand? He killed one of the king to take his place.
Yeah.
And then the demons, spirit possessed him. He wasn't acting normal. This is a guy who came, said he was a follower of Nnamdi Kanu. From that, so he's like Macbeth here. You understand? Hey, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and read Macbeth, written by Shakespeare, one of the plays of Shakespeare.
In fact, that book qualifies this whole thing very well.
That's Macbeth.
Just, yeah, that book qualifies. In the end, it was Macduff that became his undoing.
Exactly. And Azuka is Lady Macbeth, I swear.
Yeah, Lady Macbeth. Correct. Very good. Very good. Please go and check for that book, Macduff.
Seriously, that's what he's doing. He's not acting normal. He was told that nobody born of a woman would kill so person. Macbeth went after
the same analysis here. You don't know who I am.
Knowing that the woman.
You know where I am going. Not knowing that until there was condition that he didn't understand. Until this was moved. I've gotten that condition until I think a particular city or something was moved to a particular. Which is made it.
Yeah, when he was about to fall, because he was promised that nobody born of a woman can kill him.
Yes, when he consulted.
Then he believed it.
Yeah.
Until a certain man came and challenged him. The man was not born by a woman because the mother was struck when there was war.
Yes.
And while the mother was pregnant, they have to, what do they call it? DNC, right? What's that thing?
Yeah.
They cut woman open and bring out the baby. So the man was not born by a woman.
Yes.
So that is how he got confused by the spirits.
I think
and then he was told.
Was it Macduff? That was Macduff, right?
This is great analysis.
I can't remember that book very well. It was Macduff.
Yes, that's what he is.
Yes.
Then he tried to play the role of a Shylock.
You
know, feeding where he did not sow. That's what he is. Fleecing our people, defrauding our people.
Oh my!
You understand? He's a chief fraudster. That's what he's doing. But he's succeeding because our people are not reading between the lines. That's what it is.
Yes.
From follower to disciple, from disciple he moved to autopilot, IPOB autopilot. From IPOB autopilot, he's autopilot. And now what is he? What is he? He gave us 150 days to start counting. Everybody started fasting. For 150 days, nothing happened. He swapped from there. Now he told you on the 29th that the Zoo army will be banished from Biafra land, that they will fight them from barrack to barrack, station to station, headquarters to headquarters, from Abuja to Kanu, from Kanu to Sokoto, and all that. Then what happened? I think you're seeing like Ukraine and Russia. You're seeing the bombs flying, and Nigerian soldiers are running kati. Oh, Simon, hey. You understand? Here comes, man. How long will this guy stage you all and start, subduing you with his lies and all that? And you're still stooping low in the rose of noon. Why this guy is lacerating your backs with his lies, with his flaws. It's terrible. That's what it is. Open your eyes so you can see. For nothing will set you free, nothing will liberate you from your slavish mentality, except you embrace the light, and the light is the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That is what is written. We are here to tell you the truth. Ordinarily, you're not going to see me on social media. You're not going to see me. But I want to bring something to light. This guy went because Republic of Biafra government in exile opened a Biafran house for the convenience of leading the struggle, administration, and all that. This guy went and countered it by opening a Ponzi scheme. I've told you this severally. I had to go down there by myself to tell you this is falsehood. This guy is peddling falsehood. He's misleading, misguiding. So we need not to trust him. He's up for something negative. He's a double agent. He's an enabler. He's leading the zoo to the hearts of Biafra land. That is why you see all this carnage and everything going on. You understand? He's plummeting the struggle. He's dragging the struggle in the mud. That if care is not taken, they're going to see us, they will brand us something negative that is not good for the sake of the struggle. This is a guy who went and received what he called Peace Award. You know what Peace Award is? But this is a guy who's been running his mouth, firing all the empty cannons. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. They called him, and the zoo agents, those who swore allegiance to the zoo to defend and protect the zoo, received the same award. He went and tallied with them. They gave him an award. And these people do not support disintegration. That means if you are being oppressed, you need to remain there. That is their policy. That's what they believe in. Don't ever fight for freedom. They are allergic to freedom. They are allergic to liberation. So Simon, what an irony, man. This guy went and received an award from them. Hey, stay where you are. What does that tell you? That space in broad view. Double agent. That's what he is. He cuts in the bush, comes out on the street and asking, who is that one cutting in the bush? But he's the one. He's the one playing the drum that the zoo military, zoo agents are dancing to in Biafra land. You understand? This guy, you know, like I told you, criminals always make silly mistakes that, you know, sell them out. He went and received the Peace Award. Peace Award with who? What battle have you fought? What have you done to be entitled to Peace Award? That Peace Award is something. If you pay those people, those people are like NGOs, non-governmental organizations. They receive money to fund whatever they are funding. If you pay them, they're gonna give you that. That's why people like is that what you call? I don't know. All of those stupid. And Simon worked in tandem with Umahi. Simon was a fraudster, 419er in Lagos. If you're listening to a certain voicemail that have been circulating around, he works in tandem with his friend Umahi. And Umahi is from where? Abakaliki. If not, he's a friend of Simon. And a friend of a friend is what? A friend to your enemy is what? Umahi serves the zoo and is a friend to Simon. What does that tell you? You know, Simon told us there will be no election. While he was singing that, a lot of people lost their lives. He sent those people he called his army, his militia. They went and they all got killed, mowed down. He didn't tell you all that. Their body were displayed like candies on the shelf. He didn't show you all that. Those boys died. And all that. And these are the young men we need. These are the heartbeat of the struggle. Simon fools them by giving them stipend out of what is realized. Every day he's launching ESN fundraising. This is a guy who went and launched what he called M branch. That they're going to do this. They're going to operate like KGB. They're going to operate like Mossad. They're going to operate like this, like that. Where is the M branch? What are they? That one, he used it and fleeced people because he launched it and people believed him. Where are they? Those computer-generated images he showed you made fool of our people, made mockery of the struggle, and then rubbished the idea of the struggle. Now in the villages, his militias are killing our people. They are raping our people, accumulating wives for themselves, just like Taliban, like the Boko Haram are doing. They go to villages, they kidnap small school children. They marry them off. You have seen the one that was called Odumot the other day. How many wives he have? Just little kids. He impregnate them, lock them up in his dungeon. And that's it. He was serving who? Who was he serving?
Simon.
Now you see what is happening. Killing our earthly father, the king of Osun. Killed him in cold blood. Somebody, a man that was supposed to be protecting. This is our father. He got killed. An earthly man that needed to be protected. He set him on fire. Have you heard Simon mention that incident? He never did. He never emphasized on it. This is the man who's going to lead Biafra. Tell me, where does Simon fit in leadership in Biafra? Now, after the 29th of May elapsed, Nigeria crowned their rogue leader and all that. Simon swapped into printing Biafran driver's license. Go and get it. You understand? Go and get it. He told you to register online, pay. You're going to have to pay. It's all about pay. This shit. Simon, collecting money. It's all about. Now, the driver's license, what standard? What traffic standard? Is it the one in Finland? Is it the one in America? Is it the one in England? Well, what traffic standard? Is he going to drive on the driver's license? What vehicle are you going to drive? What category? What class of driver's license is that? Is that commercial driver's license? Is that class B driver's license? Is that class A? What standard of driver's license did he print? And you want you to go to get now Biafra national ID. What the heck is that? That is how to run a country. I thought he said he was in exile. So where are you going to use those things he's printing for you?
Can I give information there, please?
You have to be busy.
Yes. Every Biafran worldwide must know that all these silly schemes that this fool is flagging up, driver's license, passports, they are not only meant to defraud you by you paying money, they are also meant to kill you. Let me give you an instance. If you were to go and pay for Biafra Republic as he has designed driving license, you've already paid, he's taking your money. You try bring out that driver's license in front of a Nigerian police or army, they'll kill you.
That's it, you're gone.
You want to understand the evil of this monster. Because if you don't understand it, we are trying. Look, what we are doing here is not about opening your eyes, because even the dead, even the person asleep can see the madness of Simon and Ekpa. Somebody asleep, so we're not opening your eyes. We are only expressing ourselves to the realities. Okay, so if you can't see what Simon is doing, you will never see it, because there are too many for us to even tell you. I only want to warn the idiots who are going to go and not only lose their money and fund a criminal working against Biafra. They will also expose themselves to danger. Okay, where in the world are you going to present the passport, Biafran Republic? Where would you be traveling from and to? I mean, now let me deal with something before you carry on, because I know that this thing will fluctuate as I'm driving. I don't listen to the idiot. It's just that somebody sent me a clip where the mad lunatic was talking about having established the structure.
That's right.
For Biafra to come. Now, let me tell you, if not for the fact that this guy is destroying Biafra, wasting Biafrans' lives, and putting Nnamdi Kanu's life at risk, I would have been laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. But I can't laugh because of the evil this guy is generating in Biafra land. So I want to ask the fool, the mad lunatic in Finland, and all the idiots who are following him or singing hallelujah to him. I want to ask him a few things. So the structure that you put in place, I guess one of them is this this fake fraudulent house you flagged up in the US.
Yeah.
You claimed it's a house for Biafra. Now, when it was exposed that you actually maxed the actual signpost, you now claim that it's a unit 2. Is that part of your structure? Because I need to understand this structure you have put in place. Is your structure the Woto, which has accounted for Biafran lives? Because to date, I have not seen anything to suggest that any terrorist Fulani in Biafra land had been captured, have been injured, or have been killed. I have not seen anything like that. Is the structure the type that you have this you built this security and your war propelling agents and your aircrafts and your military in the air that you designed to even stop, begin to drive away all the Nigerian military from Biafra land after 29th of May. Is that the structure? Because we are trying to find where these structures are. Is the structure this fraudulently flagged up driver's license and passport that you want to use to kill Biafrans as well as steal their money? We are looking to find the structures that you, the height of evil in Biafra land, had created. We're looking for the structure. Now, I want to ask the other criminal who has just joined him. Kelechi, we are playing his voice. What is his voice? What is his name?
Raphael Ajere Chiamaka.
Right, Raphael Ajere. I think he was the one I overheard who was saying that our prime minister is not the one attacking anybody, but he's still inviting those attacking him to come back. Is it the one?
Well, they all are saying so. They all are saying so.
Okay. Now, I want to ask that Raphael Ajere, does he think that any sane Biafra will be like him? Like him, who already knew that Simon was a scammer, but because he has had a deal so that Simon is now giving him peanuts, he thinks, oh, so this idiot, does he think that Biafrans are fellow criminals jumping from one end to the other, looking for stomach infrastructure? Is that what he thinks? Well, Simon has just sent out an invite for all his fellow criminals to come and join him. All he has done is to open the doors and say, look, all of you that I have criticized because you have been stealing or you've been career agitators, come, let us agitate together. We have a lot to share. That was just the invitation Simon was sending out. Let me make it clear to Biafrans. Anybody in this world who cannot understand what private and confidential letter is about, that means anybody in this world who cannot respond and reply to private and confidential letter in the first instance to the person that wrote that letter to them, but preferred to go to the public to read out a private and confidential letter. Anybody, it doesn't matter who, is not qualified to be a manager of an animal farm. That is where you have animals.
Correct.
That person is not qualified, let alone to be a manager of deprived children's home.
Correct.
Not to talk of leader of Biafra that you are even going to be wasting your time listening to. You are dealing with a mad person. Look, Simon, my diagnosis for Simon is very simple and is well found in our diagnostic mechanism that we use to diagnose mental disorder people. Simon is a grandiose lunatic. He is suffering from grandiose delusions, grandiose insanity. That is why he comes out to tell you that he is the be it and end it all. That he is 50 men in one. That he knows he's already down. So he's telling you nobody can pull me down. He knows he's already down because of his grandiosity. Because he's full of grandiosity. People don't know what grandiose ideation means. A grandiose person, oh my God. I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, we can.
Right. A grandiose ideation is a mental disordered symptom. And it is characterized by one, believing that they know it all, or they know it best more than anyone else. It is like a little child who believes that his or her father is the strongest man on earth. Okay? That is, for children, we don't attribute it to be grandiosity because of how much they can reason. But for an adult who ought to know better, that is grandiose. That is grandiose ideation. You believe that your father is the strongest man on earth. When your father has not fought every man in your compound, in your village, not to talk of your town. So Simon believes that he is the be it and end it all. That's why he tells you one day he is Boris Johnson. The other day he is Nigel Farage. The other day he tells you that he is the one who wants to put himself in the history as one of those that rescued Africa, not only Biafra. That is all driven from grandiose ideation, which limits somebody from having a broad insight into their condition, but they feel what they are not. And they want to convince the world to believe in how they are perceiving themselves. But I'm sorry for Simon, because he entered a one-stop bus chance. And we will prove to him that he's only a child toying with fully loaded gun. He has put Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's life at risk more than anybody else. He has destroyed Biafrans' lives more than anybody else. And he has stolen from Biafrans more than anyone else. I want to tell him that anybody who takes a penny from the blood of Biafrans has a lot to pay for. And he can run, but he will never be able to hide. Please carry on, because I'm still, I can guarantee to you that I'm not a career agitator and I can prove it any day. So please just carry on. I'm here with you. I'll be listening in. Thank you.
All right, we have about 60 minutes. I'm sorry, before you come in, I want to address one Oluchi Okechukwu. Please don't distract people here. We are not here to confuse anybody. We are here to convince people and to make them see what they need to see, since they don't want to see. And your duty and your job is for you to see. Leave other people to see. You cannot determine who sees. And you cannot be here telling us who is with Simon and who is not with Simon. So leave the issue of the gospel to do the job it has to do. Don't come here and flood this place with information, the false information that everybody's with Simon and nobody could listen. Don't tell us about strategy. If you have strategy, join the accountability group and bring your strategy. We're going to work with you. Don't come here and make us feel like we don't know what we're doing. We're not jokers here, please. And we know subtle people like you. You just come with some messages trying to manipulate people's minds to dance to your tune. We understand what we're doing. We know what we're doing. Mazi and Kanu has taught us very well. There was a time people were not with Simon. But today, because of the gospel of truth that we were preaching then, people started joining, thinking that he's on the path of truth. So if he has gone against the path of truth, the path of truth will haunt him. It's not your job to tell us that we don't have strategy or that people are with him. The whole detail, the whole information here is take the gospel yourself. The truth we are telling you, Oluchi also, take it and take it for yourself. Then talk to other people, whether they believe or not. It's not your business. So don't come here to make us look like we don't know what we're doing. Thank you so much. Surrender the place.
Yeah, thank you once again. To touch some parts that needs to be touched and to bring our people to light, to embrace reality. I've seen people writing negatively, something they cannot defend. Tell me, write out something that I have said here that is not what it is, that is not truth. Just point out, make something, come out with a reasonable argument. Point out anything that I've said that is deficient, that is not what it is. Tell me, we are going to make Biafra, we are going to find Biafra on a very, 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 very above par ground. Okay? It's not for you to come out and start saying things. See, I'm here speaking. I'm speaking from point of what I know. So you here, I don't know, you're not even countering me. All you come out here acting like market idiot, market line idiot, per se, a street hawker. Maybe you come here to hawk orange or akara. That's what it is. We are telling you. You didn't know me before. You don't know who I am. You never set eyes on me. You never know that I existed. I keep saying this. What brought about what we are saying here? What brought about it? What brought about what we are saying here? So when that your garrulous and grandiloquent epitome called Simon, when he was out there disrespecting people, you didn't call him and caution him. You didn't know after all that you've been saying, people are going to come out and bring him to bar. You're an idiot. You understand? Simon Ekpa is not stable, like I've said before. And I'm going to say it again. He's acting under influence. The gods of the land, the blood of innocent who have died from his lying, from his fabulation, they're all after him. He's gone mental.
Yeah, so Surrender, I'm going to ask you a question because I want you to also talk about this particular fact. Although we have a limited time. We saw yesterday he came on and did a broadcast and he tried to make the people, he wants to now, exonerate himself from from being held responsible for what he knows he cannot achieve. That is Biafra. He came yesterday during his broadcast. He said he has set the strategy, he has set the structure. And then if Biafra doesn't come, then it is because of Biafrans. Now he's trying to exonerate himself from the blame, knowing that he doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have what it takes at all to achieve Biafra. Now he comes to say that everybody should come together. He started calling the DOS and everybody to come together. Now, in the first place, I know he doesn't have the right. He doesn't have the local standing. He doesn't have the capacity. He doesn't have the position. He doesn't have anything at all to even call anybody. In fact, we should be calling him to join us, but we cannot call him to join us because we know that he's a criminal. One, so we cannot bring in criminality into the foundation we're building. Two, we know that he is going to face the law. So what we're going to be waiting for is for him to face the law. That is fundamentally what we're going to do. But here is Simon now trying to look at it critically. He tried to displace the whole people. That means he came with his own ulterior motive. He displaced the whole people. He displaced everything, knowing what he has in mind. We supported him thinking he has a good conscience. And he displaced everybody. And now that he has fronted, now he goes against the Republic of Biafra government in exile, and then brings his own so that he can be at the helm of affairs in that sense of Biafra. And then at the helm of affairs, he will now say, okay, you now begin to come, DOS come and all of that. Now the same people he called criminals, the same people he said they are accomplice in the kidnap of Mazi and Kanu. The same people he says they are criminals, he's now calling them on because he feels he has arrived. He is now at the position where he is now in control. He comes to disregard and rubbish every other people who have been in the system and thinks he can just jump and come to the hem of affairs and then now think that he can now begin to call everybody to come and work under him. He doesn't want to subject himself to authority, but he wants people to come and work under him. Arrogant idiot. Now, can you talk about that fact?
Yes. He come in now when the die is cast, when his game is up. He come in asking people to come together. What did he do when all entreaties was offered to him to come together so that we can synergize? What did he do? He snubbed at the people. He was arrogant. He was cocky. He thought he got it going. This is the signs of failure. Simon is a monumental failure. His mediocrity has given him out. He is a blaspheming Jew. I'm going to say this. Simon said he has a structure. You know what they call structure in Nigeria? That's what they call illegal structures. You know what happens to those illegal structures? The government will come one day unannounced, use bulldozers, start to bring everything down, demolish everything down. So Simon's structure is illegal structure. That's what we're going to do. We're going to run him over. That's what I told you. We're going to run him over. He ain't worth it. He is a clog in the wheel of this struggle. He's pulling the struggle down. He's giving the struggle inanimate. Let me rephrase that. Simon is pulling this struggle down. Putting this struggle in a bad light. That's what I was trying to say. So he doesn't have what it takes. He does not qualify. In military, we say he's a no-go. Someone is a no-go. He's a failure. That's what that is. He doesn't have what it takes. Doesn't even have a speck of what it takes to lead. He's a mediocre. His mediocrity is insurmountable. That's what he is. So he doesn't. That's why now he's seeing his game is up. His game is up. He doesn't know what to do. He is acting like somebody who is lost at sea. Okay? He's acting harassed. So that was what it is. Simon doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have future for the struggle. He came, you think this is a child's play. You know? Well, child's play on a sandy beach. When children build they say they're building a house. That kind of thing, they make it collapsing. He was here building castle in the air. And then he was castigating people who know more than he, who cannot even tie their shoestrings. He called them criminals. Now, who is the criminal? He was offered olive branch. Hey, bros, come on board. Let's put this in together. Now, go ahead. I have a call incoming.
Yeah, because of time, we just have 7 minutes to round up this program. Simon is trying to run away from that thing that he told Biafrans. He promised them. He must give those barracks he said he's going to destroy in Biafra land. He must destroy them. He must make sure he drives all the military personnel from Biafra land and all the police personnel. He must do all of those stuff. He cannot run away from this. He must do all of this stuff. All the things he have collected money from. Collected money for. All the things he has collected money for. He must deliver. Prince, what do you think about that in 2 minutes? He must deliver. He has to deliver.
I hope you also included he must go back to that election day of the 25th of February and show us what he said he had on the ground to prevent elections.
Yes.
Now, I want everybody to know that Simon represents the worst kind of Judas Iscariot. But he had to play his part as Judas. And that's the part he has played. I think Judas will be more honorable. Judas went and took his own life. I believe that it will be the Biafran constitution that will have to deal with Simon. when the time comes. He can try to run, but he will never be able to hide. Because we've made up our own mind, and we don't say things we don't mean. We've made up our own mind to take Simon to court. And we have every evidence we need to deal with this lunatic. And we're going to prove not only to Biafrans, but to the entire world that this guy is nothing but a rogue. So just keep watching the space, because we don't say what we don't mean, and we don't mean what we don't say.
Right, yes.
I thank you. I thank you.
Thank you so much. So, just 1 minute, in 1 minute, your last words to Biafrans in anticipation of what we are doing as a people under the accountability group, and how we are going to strategically set up the whole thing and make sure that Mazi Nnamdi is released and Biafra is restored.
Okay, people, we should rescue Simon and his shenanigans. That's what we have to do. We need to face and embrace reality.
Correct.
With Simon, there's no headway. Simon has reached a dead end. Okay, we need to embrace accountability. You call them accountability. You know what that is, right? Accountability. You do something, you account to the people, and the people will see that you have clean hands. He who goes to equity goes with clean hands. Simon does not have clean hands. He does not have clean mind. He is flickering. He is double standard. That's what he is. And his group. He's not, listen, Simon is not acting alone. He has a group that is with him. Those negative groups are the people who are dragging the struggle in the mud. We need to do away with them. They need to come and account for all the money they have siphoned, for all the money they have taken from Biafrans. And the Biafrans, you are hanging your hope in nowhere. Your hope, you're hanging it nowhere. So with Simon, we're heading nowhere. Simon has reached his last point. He can't go no further. Accountability group is where to belong. Republic of Biafra, government in exile, is where to belong. I think it's belong. It's where to work with. Don't come to belong to any group. Come there and contribute your quota. What you have to do. And where we belong is Biafra. We are on a one-way trip. Our destination, Biafra. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you so much. He has succeeded in destabilizing IPOB, and he thinks he has gotten his own organization. So he's telling IPOB to come and join his organization. He says DOS should come and join his organization. Everybody should come and join his organization. He believes that he has established his organization, and now he's now giving us olive branch, extending an olive branch to us so that we can come join his organization. Well, Prince, I
just wanted to add one more thing.
Okay.
How does anyone who has can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
How does anyone who has even the brain of a chicken believe in someone who admitted that Nelly did juju and took over his thinking? How does anyone believe that such a person can become their leader?
Oh my God.
That means at any point, another Nelly can take over his head and destroy everything.
That's right.
Well, I rest it there.
We're trying to help the people. We are trying to help them reason. We know that most of them are Nigerians, so we have to keep telling them. On this and time
again, please don't forget, this guy is shifting blame to Biafrans. That if Biafra doesn't come, of course, it is on Biafrans. His responsibility has shifted over to Biafrans.
Yes, he knows he can't do anything. He knows he can't achieve anything. So he needs a soft landing. He is trying to have a soft landing by shifting the blame to the people who are smarter than him.
Yeah, this is admittance of failure. Admittance of failure.
Yes, of course. We're going to come your way more. We're going to talk more on this stuff. Remember, the analysis will continue. We'll keep talking about it. For those of them who want to kill themselves because we're talking about Simon, you can continue. But if you want to leave, just listen to the truth. You will leave and have the truth, and you're going to have the truth set and make you free, not set you free, because it's a process. Make you free. And of course, at this time, I want to thank Nnamdi for being here. As always, I want to thank Prince for being here, teaching the people and getting Biafrans to understand this whole truth. And I want to thank you for staying put and being part of this. Share this, cut the part you want to send to people who are stiff-necked so that they can be safe. Cut it, send to them, and at the same time, get the people to understand what is happening. Together, we shall get our freedom. Remember, the accountability group is coming. We're going to give you information about what we're doing by this time next week or so. Hopefully, you're going to have gotten the date of our public presentation and unveiling. And for people like Oluchi, who have been talking and just posting things that they don't understand here, you're going to get information on how we're going to run. And of course, yours is just to toe the line, and every other person will toe the line. You don't think for people. People think for themselves. So don't come and say someone has the whole people, and then how are we going to confuse? We're not confusing people. We are convincing, giving you facts, just like scripture. You convince people. You don't confuse them. When you want to confuse them, you can't get them, because you keep them at that point of confusion and it will destroy them. So you convince them. So that's what we're doing. So we are going to get ourselves together, and the accountability group under this, and working with the Biafra and Republic of Biafra government in exile. We are working together. We are now one, fused together, working together strongly. Republic of Biafra government in exile, working together. We're going to give you the details further. And of course, we're going to work together to free Mazi Nnamdi, rescue Mazi Nnamdi, and free Biafra and restore Biafra. Remember, we are contributing right now. We are doing things together to make sure that we rescue Mazi Nnamdi and free Biafra. Just call the number and be part of it, and just send a message on YouTube, wherever you can send a message, send in, get the number and call, and then you can be part of this. Thank you so much, all. We appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of the day wherever you are, all over the nations of the world. I want to thank our great comrades here who have done justice to this whole thing. You will hear from us more and more facts. Just share this. Subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed. We know that some people have left this channel. Subscribe. Those people who believe in truth, subscribe, and we're going to have it together. Thank you so much, all. We appreciate you. God bless you. Really good.